Kgotsong, Dumelang, and welcome to the very first episode of Pop-Up TV, where we pop up across the country to discover the places, the people, the passions that make us who we are. Lebitso la ka ke Seitebatso Khumari, and I am beyond thrilled to be anchoring such a dynamic space. More so, being trusted with the honor of guiding you through the journey of telling our stories, our culture, our history that are often hidden in plain sight. I'll be walking the sacred paths, I'll be sitting at the feet of wisdom, and I can't wait to bring you with me. But I'm not doing this alone. Joining me are two phenomenal women who are just as passionate about celebrating Lesotho and her people, each bringing their own flavor and adventure to our pop-up experience. Ladies, please introduce yourselves and then we'll get right into it.
Hi everyone, my name is Mpho and I'll be your tastemaker. I will be taking you with me to explore all the good food from Lesotho, from restaurants, festivals, as well as heritage food.
Hello everyone, my name is Twama Temasilo. I am your explorer. Definitely not Dora, but welcome to Pop-Up TV, as Seitebatso has said. Today we are at Cynthia Guest House. This is definitely the first episode. It's a bit tricky, but we are here to do it for you, just to make sure that you understand what's happening in Lesotho, what you can expect, and what you can definitely enjoy.
Lesotho is beautiful, stunning, no doubt.
Definitely.
It's the beyond the lodges and the landscapes. It's the layers that we don't get to see on screen. The stories behind the stone walls, the traditions that are passed down at dusk, the truths that are not documented. And this is why we feel that Pop-Up TV is so exciting, because it offers Lesotho so much more. On the point of documentation, I would personally say Lesotho needs this show because it contributes to documentation, preserving who we are as the people. It's tangible.
Storytelling.
Yes, not just a reference for ourselves, educational purposes, but for generations to come. Yes.
For me, I think what's important is to sort of inspire Basotho to love their country, to explore it, also to eat more of their food.
So this is basically the feelings that we hope people will get from watching Pop-Up TV, a sense of pride, a sense of belonging, feeling represented.
Yes, it's important.
Yeah.
Representation is important.
It is.
So it's so important for us to actually say, this is who we are and this is what we do, and you're gonna get it from us instead of somebody else.
So when you go there, it's easier for someone to become a part of that journey that day.
Yes.
Let's say you're exploring how we make our bohobe around here. Like you learn muchahlama, how do you do it, how do you eat it, and the activities and
And that's the beauty of storytelling. You say you get to lead the narrative.
Being the tastemaker of the show, I'll be exploring, the food side of things, and what I want to do is to learn more. I'm writing a book at the moment on our cultural food, or let me say heritage food, because heritage means the food that we eat even till now, right? My work is solely focused on shifting the narrative, right? And the narrative being that Africa is hungry, right?
Yes.
And instead of focusing on Africa, I wanted to focus on Lesotho, because Lesotho is what I know.
Okay, so we've spoken about Pop-Up TV and why we feel Lesotho is ready. We're at that time where this is very important, right? So what does the show mean to you? What do you guys hope to learn on your journey, your segments, right? Because me and my culture segment, I think I can appreciate the fact that we, for so long, I feel, have been taught to sort of overlook or forget parts of our identity, and to go back to say, who are we? Where do we come from? And that helps us. How do we move forward? Who we are? It really says a lot to how we show up.
I see myself finding in the history books, when we talk about Lesotho, I mean, I know some people didn't want this information out, but now we are here, and it's definitely coming out. It's coming to the big screen.
That's true.
We're gonna know all about the secret pasts. When there was war, when there was famine, how Basotho used to live, where they used to hide. Who knows?
Do you know what I really want to explore, or what I'm looking forward to in this season? I'd like to explore the wine festival. I'd also want to probably go to Malitsinyane with you, see what we can do. Yeah. I think also I would like to learn from you through this
findings.
Yes, through this show, and see what you can find and what you can tell us. What are you looking forward to? Like, what are in the season? What are you hoping for? What are your dream features?
So I don't specifically have a dream feature as yet. I think I just look forward to, because culture is a way of life. I look forward to being on the ground with the everyday people, the lady weaving hats and what, to just really talk about how we got into woven hats and why do we do this? What's the story behind this and that? And I just look forward to being on the ground. And yeah, like you're saying, I mean, you said you want to do the Braai Fest, and then I feel like, things are a way of life. Food is a way of life.
I mean, everything is there, right? The culture
is a way of life. Yeah, so, teamwork makes a dream work. And I be everywhere together, doing everything together, right? This is my way of saying, I also want to do the wine fest.
And explore.
Yeah. So
I feel like we're all going to be exploring, though.
Yeah.
From big ideas to big flavors, now meet the man behind the anthem, Sidibu Taban, cooking up beats with Chef Mo. When music meets the kitchen, expect a feast for your ears and your taste buds. This is where culture gets tasty.
Okay, now I want to match the Maluti trout, which is from the cold areas of our Lesotho, with the Italian. So you're going to use nice quinoa, a very nice natural quinoa, to make quinoa salad. So essentially, our trout is one of the best in the world. That's why most of our trout is exported to Japan. For they use it simply because they use it for sushi. The way it is done here is completely different. It is premium, nice pink skin. So for us, trout is an everyday staple. It has essentially become our traditional meal. If you go to a restaurant in Lesotho and you can't find trout, it means you are not necessarily yet in Lesotho.
Melody that sounds like home. Should be something like how we live. Yeah, you wanna try that?
Dude, let me not spoil. I'm not exposed myself.
Yeah.
My tongue goes this way, my voice goes the other way. So I'd rather do it alone in a shower.
So if you play a traditional instrument into what you all already want to call a traditional music, it's too obvious. But once there's an element of jazz, and then there's this foreign instrument in the element of jazz, which is the siba, it makes it a very unique element.
Yeah.
This is now becoming a unique genre.
I think it goes well, same way with us in the culinary industry. It goes exactly the same way. Now, you want people to relate with the food that you do. You take simple Basotho dish and you try to serve it to the international community. People don't like our food. But what we decided to do is to sort of fuse It's called fusion cooking. You take the elements of the international influence and incorporate them into your traditional dishes. Exactly what you're doing here. We've got trout, which is synonymous for the Lesotho, and now we're going into Italy to come and infuse these things. What I see you doing, I see us doing in the hotel industry. You get me? So what you do, you take the very simple batsi, but you give it a twitch. Something that someone will also relate from outside and say, oh, this is pobatsi. What is it? It is a shrub that is very thorny that we cook and that, and they may not want to try. But if you say to him, it has got feta cheese and some mushrooms and capers, they'll say, wow, okay, let me try.
What me? I mean, it's all about happiness, good vibes, you know. I think I was in Devon. Gave birth to a song. I was in Devon, and I called PK. I was recording the rhythm over the phone recorder. So he was like, okay, give me the chorus. How is the chorus gonna go? I gave him the chorus. Open up your heart. Tie up your boots, you know, yeah.
Wow.
So that's how it came out, you know. It became a title track for a pop TV show. And we were in studio, TRT studio, downtown. I then met Napo was actually in studio. He gave me the idea of pop-up TV. Just when I got the idea, I was like, nah, I've got some few songs for you. And the first track we played was Batu Batali. He fell in love with the song. He's like, I love this. I tried convincing him of, some other tracks. No, there's another track that he's like, nah, I want this track. That's how it came out. Yeah. I think for me, Sound Promoter has always been a group that brought a lot of vibes. If you speak of a track from a palm of my hand, now or never,
Ukubudile matso, ushevile bana basebenza wena. That's a beautiful song, man.
Okay, I want to give that to you. What you think?
Look, I'm a good follower of your music.
That's good.
Always when I listen to your songs, the storytelling, I always tell my kids about your songs that you remind me of our old high school days in the 90s.
Yeah.
When we go into the stadium, Edula dula, Edula fasilesika, Mugoka lenda de la fasi.
Storytelling could be a story about yesterday.
Yeah.
How things used to happen yesterday.
Okay.
But then you bring that into a song. You understand? This is how things used to happen back in the day. So once you have a vast knowledge about the past, you are able to position yourself for the future to say, I wouldn't want this to happen to me or a generation that comes after me. And so this is how I must place myself today in order to prepare myself for tomorrow, I think the most important lesson one would want to pass on that you got from people that mentored you, like people like BT, quality. The man was very specific on quality. I remember doing a song with him at KRT Studios, my song called William. I thought the song was complete. And then he said, but we'll have to redo it. I'm like,
What?
do the song. When we got to studio the first day, he says, there's a lack of carpet in the song. So he tells Hosso to put in some carpet there. Then Hosso starts laying some carpet, melodies. And then after the carpet, he says, like, this man is destroying the song. Oyana on this track. We called in Ohonyi, and then he came through. He was trying to play, it's a lamentation song. So he was trying to play a melody that, a lamenting melody. No, go away from those keys. Shake it. He literally said, it's a T. And then he was like, and when the whole thing came together, hey, but by the time we relaced the verses on the track, on the beat, you were motivated already. So it was all about quality. And I think that in the music industry, quality matters the most. Quality from the kind of writing behind the song, the concept, from the concept to the beat, from the beat to the kind of studio you were called, the mastering of the song, the mixing, the mastering of the song. You understand?
That's what produces quality.
And then the package, the whole thing. It was all about quality.
He left us some legacy, because if you guys are still holding on to those requirements for quality, you can also translate those into the coming generation.
Of course. You don't.
So the man lives forever.
Yeah.
Feeling the vibe? That's just the start. Join executive producer Mwekwa Tahane and our main host as they peel back the curtain, talking vision, passion, and why Pop-Up TV is more than a show. It's a celebration, a higher level of joy.
My journey with music is short. It kind of like me from at home. My father's records, man. I don't know what influenced me so much, to be honest. But when I talk to a lot of water, Loma say we're going to Papala, the record, and then I think that actually is where a person's inspiration for different styles of music came from. Because I can play rock and roll, jazz, the side, do that. Exactly. So I think influence definitely came to that. And I think that also translates to the relationship that I have with you. Like with you, you're more electronic house kind of character. We can relate. With you, hip hop, lounge, jazz. That's all those are your main DNA.
I mean, I was telling you like what? Yeah, the Indian boys. Yeah. It was nice. And he was already in high school. So he had records and he used to play violin. And then I just, looked up to this guy and at some point, a couple of years down the line, I met musically. Because I was young, I was really and we started exchanging ideas. I think the first time I got introduced to Maxwell Stevens' party, I got scared and he was before he and he would have these pictures. They had a cool version.
Oh man, it changed so many times, the name. Nini Nile, Funk is the fan. Linda,
Funk is the fish. No, Big Fish. Big Fish. I remember Big Fish.
Yeah.
Big Fish. Like for me, it's so nostalgic. Like I can put
And I just got drawn, like I just got drawn to it.
You're like, who is this guy?
It's bra. You know, yeah. I mean, as they say, what you focus on expands. So for me, that's when my passion just expanded for music. And the back door, I got an opportunity, you know, at the back door session where I became a resident DJ. And but I think that's when it came. Kama sessions. Yeah, that's for me that was the peak of my brand as a DJ.
Like from Hansi Bilimoniani, like my family used to have like the 45 thing at affair. Like I used to like get hooked seeing how in Zogo Stokofela haven't badala di record like hooked boning I give a power but I was like hey change play this one. Is that Gina? And then give man okay, maybe 45, yeah. This. Like they used to have like a stack of them, a stack, and unfortunately, I had to start doing my collection with my cabo. So my experience with Lonal Babeli, Max, Nerelitale. I think I was supposed to play or something, but I was a nobody, and then. Yeah, now I remember he was playing one-on-one, I don't know with Lemang. They were playing one CDJ, the visual DJ on the other side. Emong possibility visual DJ, so how are they doing this? I'm like, this guy, and then it moved to show in aliens, ultimate deal, so it used to be like a ritual. That's where music was sharp. Hey, when I'm Denver, I knew you got how she sang way back before Kizala and funny enough was I thought he was my age mate because of how mature music.
Let's find out this guy.
Let's find out later.
Every time this track plays, I always go back to the pop-up, times. It's by Retide. It's called How.
Was that a song that plays Uhuluki and Chino Vito? I don't know the song. It's a fun order.
But guys, we launched the Lahaba song pop-up.
Yeah, I know what song is that?
Matente, yeah. We launched Joburg, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We launched Pina no pop-up boom.
I remember that.
And I remember now response in the video.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought the live stream. Yeah. I think the role pop-up is shaping identity Basotho, especially young Basotho. Primarily is giving them an authentic vehicle for this to sound. I mean, often if you look at whatever's mainstream in terms of content, it's always a story able to like about Baba. You understand what I'm saying? And how should you say it's not really a representation of or not who I'm saying, but who dive into the message, and it's very hard to really resonate and make sense because we've got our own thing, our own way of doing things, which I think a lot of people don't know and don't understand. So for me, I really think for identity purposes, pop-up is a perfect thing.
I actually share same sentiments because now the way it's us trying to tell exactly what you said, stories are on our own way. I don't want to say the traditional way, but our own way. Somehow it's leveling yeah, everyone. Because I get to the traditional way of, okay, I'll Basotho, I'll Baji. So, yeah.
Different type.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
Yeah, wow, man. Yo, you guys just spaced it out perfectly. I remember that makes Anna share this vision high plan in us. With those cups that he did, like Maseru 100. Was it
150.
150.
Yeah.
Bro, Maseru used to, like he said, like Max just said, so Maseru used to be the hub. Ke yone ne certain trend, ke yone really, you know, at the forefront, right? Of innovation and style and development, you name it, right? I mean, we've had the OJs in Lesotho.
Yeah. I was about to say that, Hansa. Yeah.
So, Pop-Up is bringing that idea forward in a highly memorable and joyful,
A high level of joy.
We credit.
That's it.
High level of joy.
The outcome, it's like Kimudi or the universe, whatever, however way you want to put it, but yeah.
Hey.
Feeling the vibe? That's just the start. Join executive producer Mwekwa Tahane and our main host as they peel back the curtain, talking vision, passion, and why Pop-Up TV is more than a show. It's a celebration, a higher level of joy.
To know where we're going, we need to first understand where we come from. And who best to help us recap if not the executive producer, Ntate Mwekwa Tahane himself. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Loving the set.
Thank you. You try.
Great.
Jump right into it. So when you first envisioned Pop-Up TV, what inspired that vision?
Boredom.
That's
Sheer
honest.
boredom.
That's honest. That's
No,
honest.
what I mean by it is just you find at the time the city was quiet. Every form of entertainment was night orientated. So I've always felt that we need that daytime vibe to really enjoy other things besides what we're always enjoying.
And one would say it's more than just a TV show, more than just creating content, right? What would you say is the deeper meaning, the mission, the message behind the platform?
Is to tell our story. Often you find our story is being told by other people the way that sometimes we don't want to tell it. Two, the story is being told in ways that are not flattering. So the mission is to tell our story ourselves.
And as a creative yourself, what do you feel the creatives in our region are really yearning for right now?
Support. Support and more support, because they've got the energy, they've got the knowledge, they've got the skills. The main thing they're yearning for is support so that they can tell their own story.
So let's talk about origin and identity. Why it matters to you that Pop-Up TV is from here, by the people, with the people.
Lesotho's got a lot to offer. That is the main thing. And we need to tell our stories authentically and in an environment where we're free to actually just tell it as we see it, not being scripted, not being told what to do, not being paid to say certain things, but to just be authentic, to say, this is who we are, this is how we live.
Okay. So if it was a person, that personality, what would it be?
The kind of individual who's got one step in the rurals, you know that landscape, but you are fully in and with it.
So you've seen the process from dream to screen. Which moment, an episode, a scene, maybe a moment off camera reminded you why you started this?
I think we were in Botabetwe. There's a beautiful place with beautiful scenery and beautiful caves. And there's a feature that we're filming there where we took a group of indigenous singers. And then we made a collaboration and a remix in the cave. That for me spelled everything about a high level of joy. The innovation, the experience, the authenticity. It spoke to that.
How progressive it is. I see.
That was the moment for me.
Okay. And as an executive producer, surely the passion comes with some pressure. How do you navigate the creative aspect and the business side of Pop Up Africa?
In the main, I'm a business guy. So that comes very easily and naturally for me. It is a lot of pressure, especially when a project kicks off, but we're not starting from the very beginning this time around. But my approach is we're starting all over, pretending nobody knows anything, we haven't done anything, because I want to always feed into the hunger. That is what gives me inspiration at the end of the day.
Nice. And of course, this is a team effort, right? What type of culture are you guys trying to create here?
I think in the main, we want to turn our ideas into business, something that we can all eat. So it starts somewhere. So we are trying to create that culture of, how can I put it? That hunger, innovation, expression, freedom of ideas, free-flowing interaction, a group of people that are not afraid to say, hey, no, I don't think this works. This is what's better.
A network of...
Not just following what's being said or following a script, but being able to just break boundaries and feel free to pitch ideas.
So the people watching at home, the audience, people who are dreaming and wondering, how can I join the movement? People who are supporting, what are your parting words?
My parting words to them is to keep dreaming, keep aspiring to a high level of joy. And alternatively, make sure you reach out to us, follow us on the socials, find us on YouTube at Pop Up Africa.
With a K.
Pop Up Africa, Africa spelled AFRIKA.com.
Okay. Alrighty. This has been the recap. Your roots, your rhythm, your rise. Pop Up TV, a higher level of joy.
To keep you satisfied. Keep we carabello.